Hello, everyone. I'm Dwayne Bonifer, the Lindsey Wilson College Office of Public Relations, and this is The View from the Hill, the podcast of Lindsey Wilson College. Every week during the academic year, The View from the Hill features conversations with some of the people who help create the dynamic, living, learning environment that serves the educational needs of every Lindsey Wilson student every day. In this 19th edition of the 2025 View from the Hill podcast, we're going to hear about some of the exciting things taking place this summer over in Lindsey Wilson's theater program. No sooner did they strike the set of the musical adaptation of Little Women in April did members of the Lindsey Wilson College Theater Department begin planning for another very full summer of theatrical activities on campus. The fun begins on June 2nd with Imagine Youth Theater. That's a free summer youth program that will be offered this year through June 29th, culminating in a children's production of Rudyard Kipling's classic, The Jungle Book. Then in July, attention will turn toward a production of the comedy Shiloh Rules by Doris Baisley. That will be performed July 31st and August 1st through August 3rd in Lindsey Wilson's historic VP Henry Auditorium. The two events are part of Lindsey Wilson College's TheatreFest, the summer theater program at Lindsey Wilson College. And a big reason Lindsey Wilson Theater continues through the summer months, that's a time when many college theater programs go dark, is because of the leadership and guidance of Lindsey Wilson Theater Professor Robert Brock and Graduate Assistant Kassidy Phelps. They are also assisted this summer by 5 Lindsey Wilson students who serve as theater interns throughout the summer. In this edition of A View from the Hill, we'll hear from 3 of the student apprentices and Kassidy Phelps as well. But first up is Robert Brock. He'll explain how and who make Imagine Youth Theater and TheatreFest possible.
So I have 5 interns and a production manager working this summer. These are students, and this is a way they get to be part of a deeper immersion into theater because that's all we're doing. We're not doing classwork and all that. So we've been organizing and cleaning up everything, getting ready for the camp. I think we have 20 young people coming from around this area who will be here for about 4.5 weeks, taking classes in makeup, improvisation, movement, and then we will be putting on a play, The Jungle Book by Monica Flory, and they will be in it. So part of the day will be classes, part of the other half of the day will be rehearsals for the play, and at the end of the camp, we'll put the play on for the public, 3 performances. And so this is a really exciting time. These kids look forward to it. There's not a lot of opportunities around here, and we wanted to create an opportunity for kids to be involved in things like this. So that's what's going on now. We got a lot to do to get ready for it. Camp starts next week, and the interns have already worked a week and a half and doing a lot of hard work to clean things up and organize, but things are about to start rolling.
And the great thing about Imagine Theater is that it's not just for kids who are theater minded or interested in theater or plan to be in theater. It's open to all kids of all ages, of all interests.
Yeah, I mean, it's an opportunity to express creatively. I'm a big fan of creative dramatics, which is not necessarily putting students in plays to be stars. It's about working with them in dramatic fashion to bring creative and imaginative expression out of them, help them participate in things they don't normally do. I mean, schools don't normally ask them to use their imaginations, and so we will be a lot. And so it's absolutely for anybody.
Then the second half of the summer turns toward the production that will be in VP Henry Auditorium. You all have a good one for this summer's TheatreFest.
Yes, I doubt many people have heard of this. It's called Shiloh Rules by Doris Baisley. I became familiar with it back in the early 2000s when it came out. And it can sound a little weird just saying what it's about, but it's so much more than you can actually put into words in a brief little soundbite. It takes place on the battlefield of Shiloh, which was the first major battle of the Civil War. And a reenactment is going on, and it follows four female reenactors. And 2 of them are competing for best female reenactor. And so they're in costume. They're doing all these things. And there's a person who sells concessions at the park and is around. And then there's a park ranger who's an African-American female, is 6 women. And so first of all, and what I liked about it from the beginning was it bringing the women's point of view of war into the open. You've got the division of Confederate Union. There's 2 Union reenactors, 2 Confederate reenactors, and you've got an African-American park ranger. And eventually, I mean, it's very funny, but eventually the sparks start to fly. And it shows that, a lot of the Civil War didn't quite end and still going on. And so it's a really, really good play. And we're really excited about it.
You all have so many opportunities in the theater program for students throughout the school year, but you do in the summer as well. And I think that's one of the things that makes theater program at Lindsey Wilson a little bit different.
Yeah, when I got here, I thought, nothing happens on this campus in the summer. I know there's sports camps and stuff and some other things, but I thought theater is a perfect way to bring people together, and why not get people on campus who wouldn't be coming here otherwise during the summers? And so that's what we've done. I think we started in 2013. And it's been going strong. We added Imagine Youth Theater, maybe 2018 or 19. I can't remember now. Yeah, it's grown. It's been very successful, and summer fair, it's something to do, and it gets people happy and involved. So we're doing it.
A lot of big things happening in the theater program. You sort of have 2 majors now, a theater major and arts administration. So there's a lot to celebrate right now.
Yeah, the arts administration just started up last fall. And it has a theater emphasis, but also music, art, and writing. And so we're trying to get that going, see how that's going to go. But it's really exciting. We've got a number of majors already and some new ones coming on. And this coming year will be the first time a couple of the arts administration courses have been taught, and it's an interdisciplinary program, which is really good. So it's involving business, communication, and all of those other programs. That's really exciting, and we'll see how that goes. But this was on the books a long time ago, and it didn't take off. And so a lot of our students, when they decide to major in theater, and this happened to me, the parents weren't so happy about it. So this is a way to show there's more to the arts than just trying to be an actor. This opens up a lot of other possibilities, and there's plenty of jobs in arts administration. And so that was the thrust behind it. And now we just got to get it rolling, but I think it's going to be great.
You're listening to the Lindsey Wilson View from the Hill podcast. I'm Dwayne Bonifer in the Lindsey Wilson Office of Public Relations. I'm talking to the folks in the Lindsey Wilson Theater program. They're busy preparing for TheatreFest this summer on campus. And make sure to mark your calendars for June 27th through the 29th. That's when Imagine Youth Theater will have its production of The Jungle Book. It will be performed in historic VP Henry Auditorium. And then on July 31st through August 3rd, the comedy Shiloh Rules will be performed in VP Henry Auditorium as well. There's a story about both plays in the news section of the Lindsey Wilson website, which you can find by pointing your browser to lindsey.edu/news. Now let's get back to my conversation with the folks in the Lindsey Wilson Theater program. As I mentioned earlier, TheatreFest is made possible in no small part because of the student interns who serve in the program. Let's meet 3 of this summer's interns plus the production manager.
My name is Cheyenne Lucier. I am a theater and arts administration double major, a junior from Bremen, Kentucky.
What attracted you to do this program in the summertime?
Well, I just really love theater, and it gives me an opportunity to stay around on campus and just explore more avenues within the theater program. So like this summer, I'm stage managing Jungle Book, and then I'll be acting in Shiloh Rules. So I'm kind of getting to explore that on-stage and off-stage divisions of theater and kind of trying to find what feels most right for myself. So it's really nice to have that opportunity outside of just our classes.
Sounds like also a good way to build your resume and portfolio.
Oh no, it definitely is. When I graduate, I already have 2 summers worth of internships because of this, at least 2 summers. So that's really nice to have that on the resume. So when I go to look at working in a professional theater, I have these opportunities outside of just the normal semester.
Hello, I'm LeSean Johnson. I am a senior and my major is theater with a minor in journalism and psychology, and I'm from Louisville.
What attracted you to be part of this program this summer?
Honestly, it was Alice in Wonderland during the school year and getting to do that and hearing about the opportunity to work with children again over the summer, which was really fun during Alice. So I guess that had a big role in me doing this internship.
Talk a little bit about what you've been doing so far as an apprentice, what you hope to get out of it this summer.
What I've been doing so far is a lot of physical labor, but I love it though. I love it. I love every bit of it. I will be the stage manager for Shiloh Rules, and I will be in the production of Jungle Book. But other than that, so far we've been working around and trying to get everything together and ready for the rest of the summer, and hopefully it'll be fun.
Hello, my name is Sabrina Ruiz. I am one of the summer interns this summer. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky. I am going to be a senior, and my major is theater and arts administration.
What attracted you to be part of the program this summer?
So this is going to be my second year being a part of this internship, and what initially attracted me is I worked at a summer camp before, but I know that I love doing theater, so I loved to combine the idea of being a part of theater, but also still getting to work with little ones and do that. So yeah.
Talk about some of your responsibilities and roles that you have this summer.
So this summer, something we're going to try and do is different groups, I guess. So we're going to have like improv classes, makeup classes for the kids, different things like that. And so one of the things I'm going to be in charge of with another intern is the improv class. So I'm going to do different improv games with the kids and teach them about how to think on your feet and different things like that.
And then talk a little bit as well about how you see your experience here this summer building your resume, enhancing your resume after you graduate from Lindsey Wilson.
So one thing is I'm learning skills that I am not necessarily experienced in. So I'm assistant stage managing our show, The Jungle Book, for the kids. So that's something I haven't had experience in. So that'll definitely help me have some more skills in that field. And then I'm also not only working with interns, but I'm learning, how to work with kids and the importance of theater and giving them confidence through that.
Hi, I'm Kassidy Phelps. I am the graduate assistant for theater at Lindsey Wilson College, and this summer I am the production manager for our TheatreFest productions.
And you have some experience as a student in this program. Talk a little bit about that.
Yes, my experience as a student in the program, I love that our program is so individualized that you can really focus on what each student wants out of their experience here. And I got that experience both, through the semesters, but also in the summer, last summer as a summer intern. We got to do different things with the students in our Imagine You theater production, but then you work together as interns as well. So you're building, those valuable acting and production skills, but people skills working together and things like that as well.
Going back to what Robert talked about earlier, how Imagine You theater brings out the creativity and encourages the creativity in young people. I guess you've got a lot of opportunities to see that as well.
Yes, for sure. We love watching when the students come in at the beginning of the summer, and even like our shyer or quieter students who aren't trying a whole lot of things. By the end of the summer, they're comfortable and they've made friends and they're making choices for their characters, and they've delved all the way in, and we see them making those artistic choices, all the way through the summer.
You're from this region. You grew up not too far from Lindsey Wilson's campus. This summer program, I guess, is another reminder of just the value that Lindsey Wilson adds to the region with the services it offers to young people as well.
Yes, I grew up in Burkesville, Kentucky, so just about 20-30 minutes south of here. It can be really difficult, to get artistic availability in this region. And there's a few programs here and there, but I love that Lindsey Wilson is able to provide this to not just, college students, but to everyone in the area, to students as young as 8 for our Imagine program. It's really a wonderful opportunity.
And it's also wonderful to have some summer theater as well in July. That's, I think, one of the great things to have is to have the opportunity to go to summer theater.
Yes, we love that. We've talked about how it's not always super common to have something going on in the summer, especially through like July, August, before semesters begin and things like that. So we're excited to have that for the children, but then for our interns being in the show later in the summer as well. So that's wonderful.
Those are some of the individuals in Lindsey Wilson's theater department who are responsible for TheatreFest on campus. And don't forget, June 27th through the 29th is when you can see Imagine Youth Theater's productions of The Jungle Book. July 31st through August 3rd is when the comedy Shiloh Rules will be performed. Both will be presented in historic BP Henry Auditorium, and you can read a story about both plays in the news section of the Lindsey Wilson College website, lindsey.edu/news. And that's going to do it for this 19th edition of 2025's View from the Hill. View from the Hill is produced by Shelby Burton. She's Lindsey Wilson's Assistant Director of Public Relations and Media Producer. And you can tell us what you like or don't like about this podcast. You can do that by firing off an email to us at news@lindsey.edu. Be sure to put podcast in the subject line. Also, be sure to encourage your friends, family members, co-workers, and neighbors to subscribe to A View from the Hill. They can find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. They can also find us on the college's YouTube channel. To find this episode or previous episodes on the YouTube channel, just go to youtube.com/LWC Public Relations and click on the podcast tab. Until our next edition, I'm Dwayne Bonifer in the Lindsey Wilson College Office of Public Relations. Thanks so much for listening. So long, everybody, and have a nice day.